Hey everyone, and welcome back to the last match that we're going to cast from the quarterfinals of what's it called? Jaraci Cup 2. There we go. Had a little stupor of thought there. Yeah, this is Homeworld 3 actually. Homeworld 3 closed beta. Have you seen me playing that on Steam? Anyway, gonna be between Descara playing here as the Galzian and Catharsis as the Conf. We've got our handy little info.txt here, so let's go ahead and read it. Looks like Descara bans Kalash Teeth against Conef. I wonder if that's a good choice or a bad choice, but he probably just doesn't want to play the map. Catharsis is going to ban the Shallows, and I gotta say that makes a lot of sense. And he picks GT Alt, which is what we're playing on here. That is a really good move, because the things that Catharsis can pull off on this map are, like, surprising. Like, this is the map that I've seen him do the best stuff. I'm always most convinced that he's like, whoa, this guy's top tier when he plays on this map. Don't know what it is about it, but it keeps happening. Game 2 going to be the Boneyard for the Scar, and then if we get a Game 3, it will be Torrent Crater, also by him. And I have a feeling he's got something pretty nasty cooked up for Game 3, but we'll see if that series gets to this point. What's the strategy going to be? It looks like Descara going for his pretty classic one base Galzian play here. Not actually sure how it stacks up on the mod. We've seen this a lot through that testing stream of A-Game Descara on Vanilla. I can tell you, I've had some pretty bad luck using this before, but I think it's mostly because I choked during those times. I think actually it was in the group stage of this tournament. I tried a 1PC assault chip thing, and it did not really work, so. Against Catharsis, in fact. Playing as Conef on this map, so. Yeah. Of course, game 1 I used that awesome support cruiser build and just smashed into pieces. That was pretty fun. Or assault cruiser build. Yeah, support cruiser rush. I wonder, actually, if that's, like, a thing, but I really doubt it. We got a blaster out here for Catharsis. Production cruiser getting some skims out on the field, but no tech for him yet. He's going to have to deal without tech for a second then, because he's going to be at least, like, 50 seconds behind there, probably more. But he's definitely going to have the skimmer majority here, I think. You know what, Descara actually going to be slowed down here quite a bit, because he's going to have to get Fleet Cap 45 before he can make more than one assault ship here, which is not really what he wants to be doing. So, first one's on the queue now, but we're going to have to see Fleet Cap 45 come out now, or he's going to have to throw a bunch of units away, but you usually wouldn't see that. Unless I'm playing, in which case that's a valid strategy. But Descara knows what he's got here. He's just pulling up YOLO with that production cruiser. I think he should. Armenian Defenses 1 is going to come out, so I think he's expecting to lose some units here, actually. Otherwise, we'd see Fleet Cap 45 first. Or maybe he's just choking, but you never know. Oh, there's 2 Blastrons here, actually, and a bunch of Sand Skimmers. But I don't like that, because if Descara knows what he's doing, he can actually come up here and just kind of shadow this production cruiser. He actually will maybe kill it with like kind of a meat grinder effect. We saw that in the game with A-Game and Procyon here. Descara going to split as best he can. But yeah, so Descara could have sent these Sand Skimmers out and just followed the PC. But if he can stop the damage from hitting here, he'll probably be okay too, right? It's just he is losing some mega mining time over here, which is obviously not really what you want. Extraction comes down for Catharsis 2. Always definitely the most, you know, extraction pressure-based player we've seen. Like, he's so good at just applying that pressure on you. You let him get a couple artifacts in the early game, and it will definitely come back to haunt you late. But Catharsis is going to try to move out now with the assault ships, Descara. But Catharsis knows about them. He's getting Rail 5, he's getting Refinery Mode, and this is actually stacking up to be a very nice, like, you'd call it a hold almost, but it was based on the fact that he pressured him in the beginning. I still think Descara had a window to kill a production cruiser, though. Just get that meat grinder effect going, and your opponent can't really stop you. But it's hard to say, you know? Hard to say. This force here definitely surrounded, and yet it's actually going to get out, which is kind of remarkable, too. And ref mode's only like 10 seconds away, so Descara knows he's got to get some damage done, but if there are rails out, which we have heavy rails coming, I don't know if he can, really. This force here is going to be pretty instrumental in guarding the heavy rails from these Sand Skimmers. Of course, they're going to have to get up on top of the heavy rails, and so the Blastron can kind of camp them and make sure that they're safe. Defenses 2 going to come out now. Uh-oh, so the assault ships actually have found the Blastron. They're going to find maybe a Sand Skimmer? No, they're not interested in that. Heavy rail is out, but it's actually getting jumped on by this production cruiser, which is huge. We have the speed on? No, we do. So this guy's a little speedier than usual, but that guy's still going to be able to find him if he wants. In fact, 2 of these assault ships catching hold of him there. This guy going to want to pull away here, probably, but Actually, these assault ships have found their way in. The rails are not going to be adequate defense. I'm not sure exactly how that happened. I guess just no vision. Ha, Con F problems, right? You are right, Rocket Frolic. It is the third homeworld game, technically. But the Salvager is in some serious jeopardy. Oh yeah, for Cataclysm. Remember when that was a thing? But the Salvager's here just going to be kind of minced up, I think. And as long as that production cruiser can exfiltrate successfully, this is going to be really bad for Catharsis. Is it actually? Hold up. He's lost 2 so far. You see 1 getting hit on low health. Why is this guy not shooting? He probably ought to be shooting. Yeah, that guy gets out. That guy gets out on a sliver of health. This guy too. He should keep pushing here. Because these 2 guys could definitely kill another one and then back away, I think. Catharsis forced back onto 1 base, but he's got Refinery Boat. He's got the better switchback, you know, like the better pop back into eco. And at the same time, At the same time, he's got assault rails, which kind of counter the whole composition from descara as this army starts feeling a little bit dead in the water. And suddenly I'm kind of wondering, like, maybe Catharsis is actually okay here? We're not going to see ref vote from descara. He's still committed to this idea of aggression. But it's going to be a little tricky. Catharsis is making some skimmers. Has he got just like an RU? No, he's got RUs. I would make heavy rails, actually. I'd make 1 heavy rail and then more assault rails. And the idea there is the heavy rail is just very effective at taking these guys out while they try to close the distance, and you keep yourself safe for skimmers using the assaults. But at any rate, descara not going to choose to attack and like try to push on this. And Catharsis with his carrier here, he could get a production cruiser there. He'll be on 3 base. I think he's actually ahead here. That's weird, man. The difference that those 2 salvagers made is big, you know. And then going for raiding instead of refinery mode, I think is not really the right choice for descara either. And fleet cap, more of a CU expense. We're not going to get refinery mode anytime soon, so. But base runner goes down actually, which is really good for descara because, you know, you don't want that pressure. Like I said, Catharsis is super good at putting on pressure like that. But another one's already produced, look at that. And he's going to get aggro with this carrier. He wants to put on the pressure early. Don't know how I feel about that because you open yourself up to backstabs now. If the carrier was here, this is so much more of an anchor position. And you're still getting value because you're ahead. I thought Galaxian weren't supposed to go to space. Anyway, to answer your question though, Roby, Con F cruise missiles are different. I think they're fine. They can be oppressive, but they aren't always. Coalition cruise missiles and Galaxian missile barrage and stuff I really hate. So, that's how I feel about it. Yeah, I do think that the Con F cruise missile is kind of a fair and balanced thing, if it's balanced properly. I think in vanilla, in some ways it is, in some ways it isn't. Assault rails get a little bit chunked here, but they're going to be okay. This is why I said that thing about heavy rails, though. You get that sunder, you get that long range, and the missile ship is out now, actually. Really nice barrage potential right here. Forces the assault ships to not make an advance on the assault railguns there, so definitely going to make them kind of dead in the water. Skimmers just kind of charging up here. They will finish off the assault rail, but they can't get anything else really done, can they? Production cruiser also is taking a lot of the damage. Looks like a bit of a miss micro for descara there. It's only about half health, not going to get killed here, so. And descara committed to this attack. This is almost like watching Sparrow play, you know what I mean? Like, he will not go back. He is going to kill you or he is going to die. But I think he's just going to die. I don't think this is going well for him at all. Artifact denial coming out here from descara. Now again, Catharsis, if he was on 3 base, I'd feel so much better about his position, but he's still good here. He's still good here. Okay, we do have ref mode coming out now. Descara finally going to see he can't keep up this attack, and he's going to back away. Doesn't want to fight this one. I gotta think that's wise. I don't think it's too late for him either. If Catharsis had gone on 3 base with the carrier, it would be too late. He'd just be really far behind here. But he hasn't. He's using it as more of a weapon, and so... Not a very effective weapon, by the way. It's mostly just been used for defense. Hasn't really attacked his opponent at all. And I feel in that regard, descara is going to get away with this. He'll actually be ahead here as long as he can defend the next inevitable counterattack. Carrier could push forward, you know. Whoa, that guy was flying, but once I looked at him, he realized it was heresy, and he popped back down to the ground. This guy could move forward, try to, you know, deny some of the bases, but we do have rail fab on the way. I think he wouldn't get away with it. How do you mean? Just like it's nice to see that it's not just a no-brainer to always put power in here? Because in that case, yeah, kind of like with Soban, how you don't always put power in ALMs now. There's actually other things to put it in. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because vanilla Soban, it's like, literally, if your power isn't in ALMs, you better be, like, having it in armor while being attacked, or you're just stupid, you know what I mean? Whereas, in mod Soban, you know, you actually have to think about it, which I think is pretty cool. Railfab is done. Descara's definitely got the Strikecraft advantage, right? He does. It's like 10-4 with a Blast Run. He's got the upgrade advantage too, so as long as he can get some heavy railguns that can counter these assaults, he will be completely fine on the hold. Just needs to make sure he doesn't lose anything to this carrier, which at this point should power up the weapons, the missiles, because then you get 2 in the queue. But, yeah. Rail armor is coming out for Descara too, but Catharsis is starting to make heavy railguns as well. Just, they're not going to be there for a while. The long travel time. Descara accidentally committing eco-suicide, but he catches it, that's nice. And that carrier's still looking for an opening, but Descara doing a very good job of wasting his time, you can see, by moving around with the skimmers, and that carrier does need to kind of defend. In fact, there is really a serious possibility he could just go around and just kill everything out there, but I wouldn't do it though. I think probably what Descara is doing is better. That's kind of a way to throw, you know what I mean? But the longer this carrier stays out here, the further and further behind Catharsis is going to fall. Descara has a base runner on the field too. If he can extract that, he'll be very happy about it. And we're actually going to start seeing assaults come out for Descara. I usually don't mix assaults with heavies when you know your opponent already has assaults, but maybe it'll work. I'll have to see what he's got in mind there. Uh-oh! 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 Yeah, you're right, Rampa. He did get behind. This is exactly what I was talking about. That carrier being out here, unless it's like actually killing your opponent, you're just falling behind. I thought the, Catharsis had this one in the bag, man. This is the most effective backstab in the world, by the way. Well, you know, they could have come up and done some serious damage here. There are assault railguns, though. He does get the feeling he's going to kind of get sandwiched. Maybe he wants to stop the extract, too, so... this base runner is not going to make it, so that's a little bit forlorn there. In fact, probably power into the weapons is better here, too. Actually, smoke comes out. It's kind of saving the space runner a little bit of damage. Although using the heal here won't really work effectively. Oh, I see. He's using it for the sand skimmers, right. I was gonna say, because now you're stationary, you can get cruise missiles to, like, to the end of the earth. But they're just gonna trade base runners, it looks like, and I gotta say, for Catharsis, that is okay. Again, you're wasting time. Again, you're stopping this game from progressing at all. And now your heavies are in the field, actually. This base runner should still die, but it's not gonna be so easy for Catharsis to pressure it. Maybe it actually even gets away. He's gonna use the cruise missiles against him. Oh, is he actually just gonna die here? Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh! Are these gonna get in? Ooh. No, they're not gonna get in. Yeah, he totally is. I mean, it's not, yeah, it was. If he just went up on the 3-base here, right after he pushed off the assault ship attack, then counterattacks would not be possible, because you have your army here, you have a big carrier being the anchor over there. You know, you're 3-base versus 1, your army's going to be way bigger, and then you're just going to have the opposite of this, where you're the one, you know, with the huge rail force just kind of punishing your opponent. Carrier move out, definitely a bit of a throw there, I'd say. And what a shame, too, because I really feel Catharsis is one of those players that is fun to see, you know, get further and further into tournaments, because he just does the weirdest things, and it's awesome to watch. Extraction comes out for Descara. Sand skimmers have just free reign over the backline if they want it. There's nothing left for Catharsis. This game has to be over. And I think he knows that he's just going to chill out here and just be like, take me, I am ready. Down he goes. I love that metal groaning sound. I swear they're just using the same sound from like Homeworld 1, but I love it. Oh yeah, remember guys, Area 51 raids in like 4 days. Hope you're there. I just got a notification for that on my phone. Let's go ahead and load up game 2 then. I forgot to do that. Map 2! Which is going to be the Boneyard, like I said, Descara's pick. Do, oui, oui. Do. Can't you intelligate? That's not a word. Understand what I'm saying? Do. What does 77777 mean? That's dangerously close to 666, you know. Won't have any of that on my stream. Won't have any demonic chants. Looks like Base Runner Retirement comes out 1 on RUs. It's gonna be the same thing from descara as we saw before. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well, look, man, I just started, okay? This is like my second week. Have you... Hold up. Have you ever heard this sound, this music, in the multiplayer? I've never heard this in the multiplayer. There was no update to DOK, right? But I feel like I keep getting different multiplayer music than I ever have. Is BBI doing like ninja updates that we're not catching? I mean, I find that pretty unlikely. Assault Ship Fab is on the queue, like we said. For Catharsis, I think it's the same thing. He wants to get some eco damage early on, but I don't know. If his opponent is doing the same thing, it's not going to work. In fact, there was a chance that Catharsis could have just lost a production cruiser last game. I think Descara did not quite handle the early game properly. Assault Ship Fab is done now. So I think Descara did a lot of sick maths, right? And he tried to figure out exactly how to optimize this. And one thing he discovered was you need to have 2 salves here and 2 skimmers, or maybe like no salves and 4 skimmers like this. And the reason is that you get fleet cap 25 doesn't get filled until you have 3 assault ships out. And so I think that's probably the biggest like upgrade to this build that we've seen since this tournament. Hottest man ever would be proud. I'm not gonna say he was the one who figured it out, because I'm sure people have done 1 PC assault ship before, but like I don't think anyone had used it in tournament for a long time before he came around. So that's why I always call it the HME build. I still kind of associate with him in my mind, you know. One blast drone gonna be schneeped over here, and the other one I think is not gonna. Well, it can get out, of course, but it does have to leave. It can't stay there. Another game that you may or may not be familiar with. That sounds cryptic. I assume that's like a potential spoiler, yeah. I'm not sure. I don't think I know what you're talking about, so I probably just haven't seen that. Extraction is going to come down for Catharsis. You know what I've said about that before. And this base turn is very hard to push on. We've got nice hills and stuff. And with these blast drones, it's really tricky, you know. You can really lose some sand skimmers quick to blast drone nonsense. They're much less susceptible to it in patch. They have 1 armor, so that already makes a big difference against blast drones. And then they also have a little bit more health, I think. Or no, they have less health. I'm so smart. But then the big thing though is the fall off, which used to be non-existent, I think. So if you were in the area of effect, you took the full damage. But now, the further away from the area of effect you are, the more it falls off. And I think it's quadratic. A-Game will know though. And that basically means it doesn't taper off much until it gets to the end of the curve, and then it falls off very quickly. I think the longer the mod has gone on, the more things have moved from no fall off to linear fall off to quadratic fall off, I think. It seems to be a good way to balance things, but I don't know. Descara, though, because he spent so much time kind of attacking the base burner there, sort of lost the momentum of the push, and he's just going to fall back into refinery mode. Catharsis is doing the same thing, but he'll be slower. Yeah, everything's becoming quadratic. Well, I think quadratic just makes the most sense, really. Just from kind of a game design standpoint. So, the way I see things, unless Catharsis can get some kind of an attack going here, he's going to be, like, mega behind here. Because we don't have a PC coming out. We don't have ref mode as fast. We have missile ship tech coming out to try and slow down the, you know, the inevitable air push as he sees it, but it's not coming this time. And Descara with 2 PCs pretty soon, gonna have, he already has refinery mode. He's gonna be on 3 base in a jiffy here, so this is gonna be a little bit tricky for Catharsis. His opponent definitely gonna be dealing with, gonna be enjoying having, you know, more tools than he does. I guess I'll say it that way. We have Rail Fab coming out from descara. The missile ship's going to be a little bit irrelevant. Blast drone here probably wants to just not detonate, actually, now that I think about it. I was going to say, like, why isn't he going off? I was like, oh yeah, well, he probably gets more out of not doing it, doesn't he? Because he saved the unit and stuff. Although, you know, it does mean some damage on that base burner, but... This is such good music, dude. This is one of the ones that I really, really like from the soundtrack. So I'm happy to have it in the multiplayer, but I'm sure I've never heard it there before. It's just good music, man. The whole DOK soundtrack is just like beautiful. You know, like everything you'd expect from Paul Rusky. And he's got so many different styles too, you know what I mean? Like, Homeworld is all about kind of the background noises, Cataclysm is all about setting the ambience, Homeworld 2 is all about being dramatic, DOK is all about kind of mixing them, I suppose, being a bit more melodic. Super nice. We do have that second PC coming out from Catharsis, but like I said, he will be behind here. Gonna be a long travel time, no salvagers on the base yet, so... Yeah, this is gonna be tricky. This is going to be real tricky indeed. We already have Rail Fab for descara, who probably will make some pretty soon now, but... I don't know. I mean, he knows that there's 2 heavy rails, but it's pretty tricky to pressure 2 heavy rails against the assault ships when you know, you don't have like an overwhelming advantage, so he can hold here, but I think descara, Catharsis should be a little bit more aggressive. Starting to get upgrades on these units too, so Armor 2 is on the queue already. I think he actually wants to just overpower the Sandskimmer fight there. Definitely wants to stop the extraction, but Catharsis could get this, right? Just move out. I think that's a bit of a choke there. Because now with the assault ships in the hood, there's no way he's going to get that out. So he's going to have to fall back, and I don't know if he's going to get another window anytime soon. That thing's on very low health, so the chances of it dying in some stupid way are pretty high. Yeah, I feel like that's a little bit of a choke there. Rating coming out from descara now. Yeah, it looks like he just wants to mass up skimmer numbers and overwhelm his opponent with strikecraft and use that to beat the rails. He's got very good scouting information over here on the third. He knows his opponent hasn't got it. His opponent knows he hasn't got it, so that's always a little bit of a tricky situation. I hope this base runner drops a scanner right there, because he's going to see these 3 blast drones, which is posturing in a very dangerous way. This would be a very, very game-impacting scanner to have, I'd say. Oh, it's just a little short. Well, he will see them on the approach anyway. We'll see if that makes a difference. Heavy rails in the hood. Not shooting for some reason. I think maybe he's getting carrier from all the way over there. I don't know. That's a little odd. That's a little odd. But the skimmer numbers are definitely starting to favor descara here. We do see these 3 BDs though, so he knows about that. I think you gotta pull over immediately. Yeah, he sees it. So this is how Catharsis is gonna try to force the fight, maybe? Oh, no. Oh, gosh. Alright. Whew! Oh, playing with my heartstrings, man. That would have been so depressing. Descara is already splitting, but he actually sees the vision on those. Yeah, he'll come back. Just being safe. Better safe than sorry. You need to be careful now he doesn't lose this entire skimmer force here, because he's worked a long time to build it up. He's not going rail assault ship, he's going assault ship skimmer, and so if he, which is a pretty rare build to see, or maybe just for me, I don't know. But yeah, if he loses the skimmer force to these blast drones, that'd be bad. But it looks like he will clean them up. Assault ship's gonna finish this guy off too. Smoke is not ready, of course, so down he goes. Like I said, high chances he'll die in some kind of stupid way, right? You want to be getting that extraction as fast as you can if you're on low health. Skim's actually splitting a bit here. I think maybe because he sees the blast drone, or the base burner. This might as well just be an overglorified blast drone, right? But we're gonna have rails go down here, and that means these soul chips are able to pop in. So yeah, this is a symptom of Catharsis not expanding as fast. And descara, I mean, he'll take this skimmer fight. Like, he'll take this any day of the week. He's fine with that. Siege has been teched as well. Descara is a big fan of the assault ship tech tree. He likes Siege a lot. He's got rail fab, maybe just in case he gets pushed on, honestly. Apparently he doesn't need it. Oh, this music, man. Oh! There are a couple rails now still in position, but these sand skimmers can just push in, they don't care, man. I mean, this thing's ability is not yet ready, so we're not going to see some kind of crazy swing. He's got the upgrades, he's got the numbers, he's got everything. Except for the high ground. But, you know, I think Catharsis underrates his ability. You underestimate my power. Just clearing out some heavy rails there, because he can. But he's got this fight. I mean, this is pretty easy for him. He can clean out these rails too at his leisure. Damage 2 might come out pretty soon here too. But he might want to... Nope, yeah, he's going to get it. I was wondering if he might want to just go for the range upgrade instead. Actually, going to deploy these soul chips too early though. They're going to get killed, all of them, I think, by these rails. That's a little bit unnecessary. I mean, he definitely didn't need to lose that. But he's got Siege out on the field. He's got more Siege Cruisers following that up. He's got extractions coming. He's got sand skimmers. This is starting to look like it's in the bag for him. And descara, one of those like throw-proof players, I would almost say, you know what I mean? Well, he kind of threw in game 1 of this series, actually, so maybe I wouldn't say that, but he generally is very consistent. You don't see him get ahead and then fall behind. So, I don't see this really going any way for Catharsis. We're going to lose a production cruiser, in fact, that's really nasty. Catharsis is actually making honor guards. That's a really interesting choice. And that's what you need, you know, mix it up, see if you can do something different, but definitely following your opponent's skimmer blob with one of your own is not going to work here. You can tell he's not getting the value out of that. He has to stay with the carrier if he's going to do that, and that just means no mobility, no field control. You're going to either lose your main or your third, and in this case it's the third, but if you move the carrier out there, we're obviously just going to swing up to the main. So this is starting to look worse and worse for Catharsis. I don't really see how he gets out of this one. 2 siege cruisers on the map. We already have 2 more on the queue. I mean, descara's money situation is pretty good. And he's just now starting to make heavy rails, it looks like. But he's got that skimmer fight sussed. I wonder if Catharsis knows he's losing, like he's not got the upgrades here, because he keeps going for these like fights against the skimmers and they're just not paying off for him. Like, certainly he knows he doesn't have the upgrades, does he? Okay. I'm always worried about that. Siege actually can act as a nice counter to honor guards too, but he needs to be careful here now. Gosh, why didn't it shoot? Oh. Okay, there it is. Things are going to be okay here. These guys do have armor and stuff, that's also helping them. Barrage is not really on it though, they keep missing a little bit. Base runner probably goes down here, but at what cost? Yeah, honor guard gonna get jumped on now by these skins, but they're gonna back away. That actually is a fight he should have taken, just kind of run in there. Because honor guards they're kind of like assault railguns the way that they counter strike craft. They do, but they have to spin if you get near someone, so if you're not careful with them, they will not get the counter. They'll die. Someone's got full veterancy, but I can't see him. What the heck? Something weird was going on there. We got 3 siege cruisers on the map now. This is getting a little ridiculous. Now there are 2 of them. More base runners getting built by descara, and this one actually gets out somehow, so he's gonna extract 2. Yeah, that's 3 siege cruisers on the field. And at this point, it starts getting real difficult to deal with these things. As the range upgrade come out, it's on the queue. It still takes an obscene amount of time. I never am sure how I feel about this for Galcian. Sometimes I wonder if they should even have a range upgrade at all, but... I used to be a big siege player back in my day. Back in the day. It's still my day. But these days I don't really use them too much. Barrages in patch, by the way, very, very long. They tend to have less kind of upfront damage, but... Oh, that's true, because Coalition artillery is locked behind assault cruiser, isn't it? I guess I can see the idea there, yeah. You know what you could do is unlock Coalition artillery and then remove the siege cruiser range upgrade. That'd be interesting. I wonder how that would play out. Barrage lands on the eco here. These guys have to evacuate. Descara's, you know, translated this third base siege into a second base siege, and that's what you would expect. Range upgrade just not coming out. And you can see these guys are pretty effective even without it. Carrier going to move forward, I think, with the idea of trying to weed out these siege cruisers here, but there's a lot of heavy rails. They should probably be in position just like right here, kind of in anticipation of this very move, but siege cruisers are not, you know, terribly slow. They will just be able to kind of waltz their way out of here. They've got base runners for heal as well, which might be nice to deploy. Because those cruise missiles are doing a lot of damage, it's true. Honor Guard's really getting hit up by them, though. And here's the heavy rail force that I was talking about. I think Catharsis has the superior upgrades. No, he doesn't even have that. Ooh. He really must just be starved for money this game. One Honor Guard goes down. Second one should follow? Maybe not. He might be able to get out of there, but at any rate, he did not succeed in getting back onto his third base, although he seems to think he has. This guy probably ought to be a little bit more defensive. After all, you have to stand still when you're doing barrages. Oh, that was a nice Honor Guard shot. If the cruise missile had followed up, he might have killed like 3 of them there. But I think that's got to be a dead carrier now. And Catharsis will go down 2-0. Kind of disappointing. He should have had game 1, you know what I mean? But that will be the end of his run in the first modded tournament, or the first modded tournament he's played in. It looked like that siege cruiser just did mega damage there just ago. Just like destroyed in one hit. But yeah, I was kind of hoping to see Catharsis go a little bit further, but him against Descara, you know, only one could make it out. And those were pretty good games. I found them spicy. I've got time, actually, so let's just go ahead and cast more, huh? You're probably okay with that. But for all those watching on YouTube, catch you next time.